Hello everybody, it's Josie here. I am going to be doing another 2-book review today. So the 2 books are kind of horror thriller books, I would call them. They are linked by the fact that they are both about people going to apartments and apartment buildings that are quite sinister, quite scary, and land them in some real big, deep trouble. So the 2 books that I'm talking about are this wonderful book over here, Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, and this wonderful book over here, The Apartment by S.L. Gray. So, like I said, what these 2 have in common is they are both kind of focused on people going to apartments and buildings. So if we start with Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, I think this is probably the more well-known of the 2 books. So this focuses on a character called Jules. She has been heartbroken, she's kind of down on her luck, doesn't have a lot of money, doesn't really have a place to stay. She's sort of been couch surfing, and then she gets this opportunity to become an apartment sitter in this gorgeous old building in New York called the Bartholomew Building. Sorry, that was said badly. The Bartholomew Building. And this building has kind of a long and interesting history once she gets into it. But it also is kind of, for her, it's like the opportunity of a lifetime. She's going to get paid a lot of money to basically sit in a gorgeous apartment that the very rich and the famous live in. But there are rules, you know, she's not supposed to talk to people. She isn't allowed to have anybody over. You know, there are the things that sort of, you know, red flag. And then some weird shit starts happening. And I'm not going to say any more about it because I don't want to give away the story. But suffice it to say, this is very much in that kind of horror thriller genre. And I absolutely loved it. I thought it was really well written. It was lots of fun. There were twists and turns. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought this was a fantastic read. If you like that kind of taunt thriller, but sort of with horror kind of scary elements in it, I think that if you like No One Gets Out Alive, which is one of my favourite books by Adam Neville, you will probably like Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, and then The Apartment by S.L. Gray. So this one, again, I think if you like that, so if you like Lock Every Door, if you like No One Gets Out Alive, I think this is one for you. Tiny bit of a different spin on it, but I really liked it. So this one is S.L. Gray are, I think they're a duo as far as I know. Yes, they're a writing duo, and they are, I believe, South African. So I stumbled across this because I was looking at another author who is South African in their books, and I was raised in South Africa, so anything, you know, that has ties there I quite like reading. And it's not really a place you read so that many novels come from, not come from, but set in, let's say. So with this one, you have a couple, a South African couple with a little girl, and they live in Cape Town, and they've had some really kind of bad things happen to them, so they've got some PTSD. Their house was invaded by burglars, and they were kind of held at kind of a gunpoint, and their house was burgled, so they're kind of reeling from that. The husband, he was previously married, so he's much older than his current wife, and something happened to his daughter. She died from the previous marriage, so there's kind of been a lot of trauma, and they decide that they need to just get away and have a break. And the wife's parents say, look, we'll pay for some air tickets, go to Paris, enjoy yourselves. And what they decide to do, because they don't really have that much money, is to do a house swap, because their friend says, this is a cheap way of doing it. Offer your house, go on one of these house swap sites, and someone from Paris will come here. Don't worry, I'll let them in, I'll look after them, and you go off to Paris and have a great time. So they go on one of these sites, they register themselves. A couple called the Petits answers and says, yeah, we've got this lovely apartment in Paris and we'll do the house swap with you. So they get on a plane. Luckily, they leave their daughter with the wife's parents, and they get on a plane, they get to Paris, and the apartment is bad. Okay, it is. I mean, literally, I would have taken my bag, turned around, and got straight back on a plane back home. but they don't have a lot of money. Again, this is kind of a theme that ties these stories, so no one gets out alive. Lock every door. This one is the circumstances, because I'm sort of screaming at them going, just leave, go to a hotel, but you know, their credit card won't work, and they kind of have to stay in this horrible apartment, and things kind of go from there. Again, I don't want to say too much of the story because it sort of ruins it, because it's a horror / thriller style. I'd say this is probably more straight up horror, whereas Lock Every Door I would say is more thriller esque. But yeah, it's great. So this book splits its time between Paris and Cape Town. So again, you've got some interesting settings there. And I really loved it. I read it really quickly, as with Lock Every Door. I thought it was interesting. I liked the kind of creepiness of it, sort of the creeping in of, oh, what is going on here? This place is horrible. Why are you staying? And same with No One Gets Out Alive. Yeah, it just has all of those wonderful elements. So these are two books that I would highly recommend if you like that kind of thing. If you're interested in just so we say fun. I don't know why I think horror books, they are fun. Kind of that fun, creepy, scary, warning, never stay in apartments, like that kind of vibe. I'd recommend both The Apartment and Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. So thank you very much for listening. Let me know what you think if you've read these books, and let me know if you have any recommendations based on this kind of genre of book. And keep well and safe. I will speak to you all again very soon. Bye.